Welcome back to the Odyssey. I am Mike Odyssey, and well, today we're talking about Nintendo Switch 2. We have some information behind the scenes that tell us Nintendo is cooking something, right? But this could also be related to the upcoming rumored Nintendo Direct in April, which is rumored to be a full Nintendo Direct that will give us the rest of the games for the year 2024 and maybe 2025. So let's go ahead and talk about it and break it down in this video. If you are new, check out this clip or feel free to use the timestamps below to skip directly to the topic. So before we get into today's stories, you see, I want to ask you one thing. I want to ask for your subscription. You see, I'm legally blind and I'm basically losing my sight as we go. I don't have sight on my left eye and I have about 40% sight of my right eye and it's just fading away, right? The doctors right now have nothing else they can do, but I have a dream to become a full-timer on YouTube by the end of this year. And I want to ask you for your help. If you subscribe to this channel right now, it'll only take a second. For me, it'll just change my life. So if you could do that right now, I would really appreciate it. Here we have Monday through Friday Nintendo news. On the weekends, we have products and reviews. And we also have the occasional in-topic podcast with your favorite voice actor. So I would really appreciate it. It would mean the world to me. And I just want to thank you in advance for giving me your subscription. Let's move on to today's stories. All right, so we have some updates inside the world of Nintendo regarding Nintendo Switch 2. And I would say this piece of information has been out there for about a week and a half. And it was basically mentioned in a podcast by Nate the Hate. And basically what I do, instead of just giving you the news straight as it happens, I wait for others to collaborate to make sure that there's more than one person talking about the same thing. That gives it just a little bit more credibility, right? I don't want to bring a rumor up that is just mentioned by one single person and they basically that's it, right? So, well, the time has come to share that news with you, and it's that Nintendo is apparently seeking developers to send them their trailers related to a presentation. Now, there is no confirmation, I repeat, there is no confirmation whatsoever that this request has to do with the Nintendo Switch 2, okay? I've heard a whole bunch of other content creators out there kind of put them together, and well, I will not rule it out. It could be related to Switch 2. It could be related to the reveal of the console, but really there is no confirmation. All we know is that Nintendo is right now actively speaking to developers and requesting their trailers. Now, like I mentioned in the video intro, this could also be related to the upcoming rumored Nintendo Direct in April, right? Right now we have Nash Weedle, which is a leaker who has gotten information correct in the past, right? He was the one responsible for giving us a Metroid Dread leak before it even happened, together with the name and a lot of other information I can't recall right now. So it's a credible leaker. He basically mentioned that, well, Nintendo is actually working with developers right now. They issued an update to these dev kits where the resolution will go up higher. So right now we know that there is work happening with Nintendo Switch 2 behind the scenes, right? But when it comes to this trailer request by Nintendo, I mean, Nintendo does this every single year, right? We have directs every single year, and Nintendo does request trailers for developers who are going to be participating in said Nintendo Direct every single year. Now, the only reason we are attaching this to Nintendo Switch 2 is because, well, Nintendo Switch 2 is coming out now in the next fiscal year, which begins in a couple of days, right? So April is the beginning of the next fiscal year, and Nintendo is planning on releasing the next generation system in this upcoming fiscal year. Now, this fiscal year that is coming now in April ends in March of 2025. Now, we can't rule out that Nintendo will announce the Nintendo Switch 2 in April because, well, if we go back in time, we have to go back to a successful system, just like the Nintendo Switch, right? And the last Nintendo successful system was the Wii. Not the Wii U, but the Wii. And we have to take a look at when Nintendo decided to kind of turn off the switch on the Wii and announce the Wii U after that. And as we see here, Nintendo actually did announce a system a year before, right? They announced it on April 25th, 2011. They launched the system on November 18th, 2012. So that's almost a year and a little bit more after the actual announcement. This could have just completely killed the Nintendo Wii's kind of momentum or even sales at the time. So basically announcing a system 1 year and a little bit more before the actual release will actually, it would actually kill the system that is currently being sold. But you can also attribute this long time announcement to the fact that, well, the Wii U was backwards compatible with Wii games. So we can put this together. If Nintendo does announce the Nintendo Switch 2 any moment, and let's say they announce it in April or May, well, we can actually verify that the Switch 2 will be backwards compatible with the Nintendo Switch, and Nintendo is confident that the announcement of the Switch 2 will not harm any other games announced for Nintendo Switch moving forward. Now, that is not the only factor we have to look at when it comes to understanding how Nintendo will go about this time when launching their next-gen system. Back then, when the Wii U was out, we had a different president. Satoru Iwata was the president of Nintendo, and although he was a businessman, he was more at heart a video game programmer, a video game creator. He was a creative, right? And so for him to launch a system a year later, he would likely more enjoy the anticipation and kind of the announcement or that year to take and kind of boost hype for the system rather than sales, right? Right now, we have Shuntaro Furukawa. Shuntaro Furukawa is not a creative. He is a businessman first. He is a salesperson. He was in the sales department or the head of sales for Nintendo, and he is now the head of Nintendo. So basically, his way of thinking is, you know what? We cannot let the Nintendo Switch sales go down before we present the Switch 2. We must maintain momentum. We must maintain sales, and we have to transition very smoothly. Now, how can we do this without harming Nintendo Switch sales? They can do this with a shorter announcement to release window. This means that if Nintendo does announce the system in April, then we should see the system launch around October, rather than seeing the system announced in April and then launch the very next year in November. The president, Shuntaro Furukawa's mindset when it comes to business and sales, he prefers a shorter launch window than a longer launch window. So right now, it's uncharted waters when it comes to how Nintendo will proceed when it comes to announcement to release. But all we know is that there's something cooking behind the scenes. We know the Switch 2 is done, made. Developers have dev kits. They're working on games. Nintendo is asking for trailers, whether it be for the Switch 2 or for the upcoming Nintendo Direct. But if you ask me personally, I will tell you that this is related to the Nintendo Direct happening in April. Let me just say this. I believe that if Nintendo does announce the Nintendo Switch 2 within this year, and I mean early this year, April is still kind of early 2024, then I believe the Nintendo Switch 2 will launch in 2024. Now, if Nintendo does announce the Nintendo Switch 2 late, I would say July, August, October in 2024, yeah, it'll launch in the beginning of 2025, but still within the same exact fiscal year that ends or begins in April and ends in March of 2025. Let me know what you guys think down below. Does it make sense, everything that I basically mentioned in this video? Are you looking forward to a Nintendo Switch 2? Or can you wait just a little more with your current Nintendo Switch? And do you want to see more games announced in this upcoming Nintendo Direct in April? Well, the rumored Nintendo Direct. Let me know down below. And guess what? Before I let you go, never give up and journey on. Peace.